folks, welcome to your AD orientation. Since your role is that of an RA with added responsibilities, we ask that you first complete the RA introduction. Now, as an AD, you are at the front lines of your RA team, meaning you have to lead the RA team by example, coordinate them, as well as attend any meetings and assess risk for various house events. Being the leader, it is important that you make decisions with confidence and conviction. And don't worry, your Don saw a reason to trust your judgment, which is why you are in this role. It is okay if you don't know all the answers, as long as you know where to look for them. In August, you will learn more about Mount Allison's policies, procedures, so you can confidently make these decisions in your role. And obviously, being the RA team's lead, they will look to you for advice and answers, so you can respond in various ways. You can simply say, here's your answer if you know the answer. If you don't know, be honest and say that you'll get back to them. And make sure to actually follow up with them. Or if you don't know the answer once again, you can offer to work it out together. This works really well whether you are working with RAs, exec, or admin. And since you are only human, you may occasionally make mistakes, but the best thing is to own up to it and make adjustments if possible to rectify it. If you lead by example, others will follow, and your Dons at Student Life are there to support you in this journey. Remember that communication is key to any great work environment. You should frequently check your emails for communication from Student Life and are in contact with your exec team, Don, Student Life, and admin. Cooperation and communication is important when you have so many leadership roles within residence. Communication also goes beyond that. This means bringing further your RA team's concerns and outlining expectations of the team in the first term. If they are dealing with some sort of an issue as a team and you can seem to resolve it initially, you can talk to us as Student Life and we will communicate the answers back to you. A very critical part of your role is creating the schedule for RAs, where you have to keep in mind the specific duty hours, you have to plan ahead, and consider flexibility and fairness. You should be creating a schedule at the beginning of each term for the remainder of the semester, not including the exam period. This schedule is tentative because some events might occur as the semester plays out, but at least this way the RAs are able to plan ahead for themselves. You can even ask them during this time if you want some particulars, or they want particular days off, such as Halloween, St. Patrick's, Thanksgiving, whatnot. Remember that duty shift occurs on Fridays and Saturdays for all residences, and the number of RAs you will assign depends on the number of residents you have. So, for example, if you have a small residence with 100 people, you may need only one RA, while a bigger residence may require 2 to 3 RAs. There may also be extra duty shift if there is, say, a day-long event like homecoming. Not to worry, you will learn how to schedule based around these events during August training. Since you are planning well in advance, these schedules are bound to change with arising house events such as a house party. And RAs may need to switch shifts, which is alright as long as the shifts are switched and not taken. So for example, if Harry can't make it for Friday this week, Hermione can't just do his shift and her shift next Friday. Harry will have to switch with her for her Friday shift the following week. Both RAs should be okay with the switch as well, and the required number of RAs for the shift still needs to be met. And remember to keep it fair as well. Avoid scheduling one particular RA for all the expected busy nights. It helps to keep track of the nights that they have worked, such as a house party or day duty for homecoming, or long breaks such as Thanksgiving. And you can even ask them if there are any particular ones that they are okay to take on or wish to sit out. I remember when I used to work as an RA, I would be okay to work on the busy days, but I would like my holidays off if possible. And make sure to keep it fair for yourself as well. I've noticed this with ADs especially, that they have this I can do it all mentality, and then they'll work all the busy nights. Remember, you are in a team for a reason, so don't spread yourself thin. Now, when it comes to actually doing the schedule, you have one of 3 options. The first option is you will have the same RA schedule for Friday and Saturday, meaning you will have the same person for the Friday and Saturday shift, and this will allow for more full weekends off. And this seems to work particularly well for small teams. The other option, which works well but for large teams, is having different RAs for the Friday and the Saturday shift of a given weekend. This too gives RAs more time off during the weekends, but mostly in the case of large teams. And the last option is your choice, meaning if you come up with a stellar idea that works, go for it. Just let us know at Student Life so we can include it in this module next time. Working is one thing, but living in your workplace is another. And working in close quarters with teammates can give way to conflicts. This is where you come in. As a team leader, you should be promoting a positive working relationship with all team members. And if a conflict does arise, you have to help resolve it, or you can proactively deal with it, potential ones that you can see arising. But once again, you have your Dons and Student Life to help look out for you and bounce ideas off of. Being a team lead also means attending various meetings so that you're aware of all that is occurring around you. In some meetings, you might simply attend, whereas others you might be required to do some prior thinking and planning on your part. You, along with the rest of the residence leaders, will attend weekly Dons meetings for open communication, debriefing, and addressing any concerns. If you are concerned about a particular student or an ongoing issue like noise, this is the place to voice it. So be ready to report about things that are going on in your house to your Don when it comes to this meeting. The AD meeting occurs twice per term or on a need-by-need basis. This meeting allows for communication between the residence life manager and you. You should be prepared to bring forth any concerns you have with your RA team and feedback on the agenda items that we have provided you and any other residence queries that you might have. If some issue seems to be getting out of hand and you're not exactly sure how to deal with it, or it's a team issue that's getting out of hand, same thing, you can bring it to us during this meeting and we'll try to work it out together. The Residence Council meeting is set up by your exec and you simply have to appear as a non-voting member of the council. So just sit back and relax, but this is a good way to get involved in your house as well, and execs really appreciate it when other residence leaders come in to support them in their roles. The house meeting is something that can be set up by you or the Don or the president. This is to communicate any issues, events, and house dues. So if you feel like noise is becoming a big problem, you can call for a meeting. You can bring forth any issues that affect residents, such as rule reminders or move-up procedures. The last meeting you are asked to attend is the risk assessment forms meeting, but there is some background information you need to learn about risk assessment so you can fully grasp the purpose of this meeting. Risk assessment forms are filled out by event planners, typically the exec. They include event descriptions and any resources that are needed so we know the level of risk that this event might pose. These event forms cannot be submitted without your signature, so make sure you review and consult the Don to make sure you are okay with everything that is being proposed for the event. Only then should you give the go-ahead to the event planner and get them to submit it to Student Life. These forms are designed to make sure that all risk factors are considered before the event even begins. You are well within your rights to refuse RA involvement if it feels like an ill-planned event or if there are just too many events going on at the same time and it'll get way too busy. If it's a low-risk event like a movie, your signature will suffice. But if it is a high-risk event like, say, a party, there's a separate online high-risk form. So for this, you'll need to include the number of RAs that will be on that shift, their names and placements throughout the building, as well as include any suggested location for ESS depending on the kind of event that it is. So I just mentioned the term ESS and you must be wondering what that means. ESS are event security staff and they're hired through Mount Allison's ancillary services by your exec for their events. And these are students, by the way. They are required for any events that involve alcohol. So just so you know how the ESS work, ESS are stationary, meaning they will stay in their assigned position at all times and they will not walk around. They're emergency responders, so if there's ESS assistance needed or RA needs their help, an ESS will leave their post, but then eventually they will have to return to it. They're also limited in multitasking, so to ensure guest safety, they're just assigned to one area or one task at a time, two if it is appropriate. And in terms of area of authority, they are limited to the registered party area. ESS can only go in those areas and to the residence room when they're accompanied by an RA. And in case of intoxication, ESS might identify someone who's overly intoxicated. They will let the on-duty RA and the dons know, and then it'll be up to them to deal with the situation. So ESS are required to be located in certain areas, such as behind the bar, to prevent overserving of any drinks. Otherwise, they'll let the don know. They're also asked to stay at the front entrance, where they will check whatever items that students are bringing in, so to make sure that nobody is trying to sneak in alcohol. And if a student who lives in the residence where the party is happening has alcohol, then the don or the RA that are also working the door will have to give approval to the student to enter with that alcohol and accompany them to their room. They will also confiscate any non-approved alcohol, meaning anything else except from what is being served in that event. ESS also works the back door to prevent anyone to exit the building with alcohol, and no student will be allowed into residence intoxicated. If the student lives there, then it is up to the don or RA to deal with the intoxicated student. All residents without tickets also have to enter through the front door. They are also going to be assigned to the dance floor on the sides, so if there is any issue, they can be quickly spotted and asked for help. They'll be standing at the stairwells to prevent any access to non-event areas, so nobody's sneaking up to the other rooms, and just keeping the movement flowing smoothly. And they will be assigned to any additional lounges if that is being used for the event. When you are assigning positions, you have to give the exact detailed floor plans for submissions when they are submitting their form. So I have included the links for the floor plans in your supplementary document, and they can be found on the housing website. So the time has arrived for you to actually attend the RAF meeting. This is called by the Residence Life Coordinator after the exec have submitted the High Risk Assessment Form, RAF. Coming into the meeting, you should be prepared with the names of the RAs, their placements, and suggested placements of the ESS. So this is something that you would have already submitted along with the risk assessment forms when the exec were submitting it. So this is not necessarily new information. This is something that will most likely be included in your RAF, like I said, so it's not a big deal. And you should bring forth any concerns from your point of view about what the event is including. So if you feel like there's a particular event that might get out of hand, you can say no, or if you didn't get the chance to say it earlier, you can bring it up in the meeting so we can discuss it as a group. And after all that, you can also, in a limited capacity, act as a residence don. This is if your don is unreachable, in which case there are certain scenarios where you can act as a don, like I said. So determine if a guest needs to be removed for any kind of safety reason. If anyone is going to be threatened, you can ask them to leave. You can make a 911 call if an RA is unsure about a situation that they're dealing with, or you can call the Residence Life Manager or RLM for any other assistance that you might need. And if you're uncomfortable making these decisions, you can also call up other residence dons in that case. They're happy to help. So I think you're ready to take on your role head on. So make sure to read the supplementary document, and there's other important information in there, so make sure you are taking a good look. And I can't wait to meet you in August. Have a great day.